Good evening, everybody. So today we have a special guest. Now, you see, on the way I was just thinking that, you see, I was thinking, you see, if tonight gathering, if happened 200 years ago, we all must be very scared because we're talking to the headhunters, you see. but of course, we are not too worried because we have some white skin around, which the head is much more wolfy. So wait for a long time for this yellow skin to come in. But that's a joke anyway, because the Murut, they are famous for their collection of the skulls. You know, that was the old time. Of course, we all know that even the most fierce animals, if they're not being provoked or they are extremely hungry, they won't attack human beings. You know, as I said, you're talking about the Murut, they're very kind people. You look at Dr. Richard Gunting, right? Such a nice face. So, so tonight, let me introduce Dr. Richard Gunting. I think he's one of the earliest, the first Murut who got a PhD from US. He got a PhD in agricultural economy from the University of Tennessee in USA. You know, that was some 40, 50 years ago, right? So, so he is retired now, but retired in a way that from the government service. But he is working out on this project, the community project in the heart of Sabah, the Murut centers, which, you know, initially when I heard about his initiative, I was a bit skeptical, you know, because how are you going to convince, you know, your tribes, because they are famous for their hunters, you know, animals and others. That is for to hunt for food. But now you want to convert the villagers from hunters to protection angels of the animals. That's not an easy job. Yeah. So, but after I visit the place a few times, talk to the villagers, I found out they're so sincere, and I think they're going to make it. But of course, we need everybody's support, yeah, to make his project successful. Because this is, I think, Doc, this is the first local initiative, because it's initiated by the villagers to convert the forest into an ecotourism place, you know. So I think I don't want to go any more further. I think I let Dr. Richard Gunting to start his presentation. Yeah. So after his presentation, I think we can open up for Q&A.
First, thanks to Edwin, your president. One time, I might have been seated in the jungle somewhere, and then suddenly his WhatsApp came, and he said, "Would you like to give a talk to Sabah Society?" And he had been to that place twice. I said, "Why not? This is an opportunity in a lifetime, not for me, but also for the project, and a testimony for us working with the community." We have representatives from 2 villages. The wakil from the other village could not make it because he was ill, but I could represent that because he's my younger brother anyway. Yeah, so I have the ex-Ketua Kampung here, Tingkalur. I'd like to introduce them if you don't mind. And then we have the Ketua Kampung in Kampung Belantos, both of them Belantos. 3 of them actually is a Ketua Kampung of Belantos. And then their chief, of course, the young guy there, very handsome, called Markus Tingkalur. That's the son and that's the father. And of course, the Ketua Kampung from Kuala Salung. And then also in the same kampung, community leaders, one of the community leaders, former Ketua Kampung, I think, Yabo, Kasa. So, and then Kuala Salung, Belantos, Kampung Saliku. And both my son and myself come from Kampung Saliku lah. So we assume we represent that. Now, I'm not really adhering to a lot of formalities, if you know. That's why I run and live in the jungle, because we don't have much formalities in there. So we'll break the presentation into two parts. There are about 8 or 9 sections. I lost count of them. So my son Virgil, he also bears the same surname, Gunting. But there is a distinct difference between me and him. I was raised in the jungle. He was raised in the city. English is his first language. Murut is his last and third language. My first language is Murut. That's my native tongue. And then English is my third language. So if I speak with accent, that's Murutic. And then if he speak with non-Murutic accent, he comes from not in the same village, but in the city. And I think my wife and I must have quite a bit of influence also in shaping their pronunciation, if you like. So I think that much of introduction. Virgil will do the background, and then going into the pilot project, meaning pilot we had to test out first. And I think we have come to a stage where, hi Michelle, nice of you to have come. And then I lost my thought already for a while. So I will continue on the upscaling and then finish the whole talk. So we try to limit it within 1 hour. There are 50 slides altogether. And we give you 1 full hour of Q&A. So ask anything. We hope we can answer most of them. If not, we'll go back and find the answer and come back again. But this time I'll ask Edwin to invite us to come here to explain. Edwin, thank you. Yeah.
Forest integrated development. Now, this is to change from a log over denuded forest into an Eden garden concept. So we'll have different parts of this project. As my father has mentioned, we've got a background pilot project. I'll cover that. Community partners, the KEF mission and mission, 5-year goals, and project scale up. My dad will do that. Okay, so the background, see, Kabulunga Waterfall is located in the Nabawan district. And the background of Nabawan district is that it's located in the interior division of Sabah, and it's mainly made up of Muruts. We put here 95%, but I think it's a bit above that actually. Okay. Now, traditionally, the Murut people live along rivers, and because of the headhunting that Edwin mentioned in the past, they live sporadically as well. Okay. Now, due to government resettlement scheme that happened in, I think, early 70s, many of those from remote areas were actually tried to move into more urban situations. They call it the Nabawan resettlement scheme. They brought all the villages into the city center to plant rice. However, that project was not seen to the end, and it has caused multiple, we have seen multiple backlashes, negative backlashes that have happened from it. One of them is that they show symptoms of poor integration, such as community-wide poverty. Not many people know this, but in Parliament, they announced 8 out of 10 poorest districts in all of Malaysia is actually in Sabah. And actually, out of the 8 districts, Nabawan is the second poorest. So by deduction, we're already the second poorest in all of the country. Okay? We also have the youth resorting to crime to sustain their livelihoods, such as poaching, as Edwin has mentioned a bit just now, and also cross-border illegal smuggling, because where this village is actually not too far away from the Indonesian border. loss of land ownership and reduced customary right. This is due to encroachment by the FMUs, which happened mostly in the 90s. And we have cultural erosion, not much educational motivation standards, and so on. Now, this here, this is Nabawan district, okay? And this is the border to Kalimantan Utara. And we have the longest land border actually connected, and also the shortest route from future Nusantara all the way to Kota Kinabalu. So this will be the shortest land route. And here, we'll show you a short video to give you a situational background and understand the surrounding environment of the Kabulongo waterfall. So this video was made by Lim Hock Song. This is the road that's going to go all the way to the border up there. This is actually the Kabulongo River over here. This is our hut that we've built so far in this area here. And the waterfalls is just here. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but the jungle people know. This here is the trail of water. You can see the difference in the trees. Yeah? And this is the waterfall just here. So this is actually a multiple stage waterfall. I think in total they have 8 or 9 long stages, but these are the 2 main ones. So up here is a shallow pool, suitable for families and little children. Down here is a very deep pool, and inside here we're actually trying to rejuvenate the pelian fish. In Sarawak they call it empurau. Mm-hmm. 1 kilo cheapest is about 700 ringgit in Sarawak. Yeah. So from here to here is about, I say, 15 to 20 meters. And from down here to up here, about 25 meters.
Are these natural rock faces?
Yes, all natural. Yeah. So actually in Sabah, we're very blessed with multiple what we call natural capital. These are all blessings of God that have been bestowed onto us, and that's why we have to look after them and not disintegrate them anymore. It's easy to spot that man over there because he has white hair.
The birds tweeting, is it your...
Oh no, that's part of the soundtrack. Hock Song put it in, yeah, yeah. But if you go there, there are multiple birds tweeting all the time, yeah, all the time.
Is this for the tourists?
Initially, we had a little pilot project, which I will get into, but then now we are upscaling it and we're moving into different phases of the project, which my father will get into.
Is this place under any park? Or
No. Right now, the villages here, all the Ketua Kampung and the villages have applied for 1,000 acres of what we call village reserve. So then they would have the rights to re-establish the land and everything.
so it's good. It's not under any park.
No. Unfortunately, just behind this 1,000 acres, we have a logging company. And for those interested to see the devastation of the jungle later, I'll show you another video not in here. Yeah. Okay, so the site for Kabulungo Waterfalls is native customary right land measuring at about 1,000 acres, primarily under 3 villages, which my dad mentioned, Kuala Salung, Balantos, and also Saliku. The objective of the initiative is to create awareness on the potential for natural assets to be utilized for sustainable tourism along with the community, instead of the usual extraction economy that we have practiced so far in Sabah. We have stripped the land of precious natural resources, such as stable source of food and water for the communities. When my dad was growing up, the term, the jungle was your supermarket, was very, very true. He would take his boat down the river, and if he saw a deer there, he'll be like, tonight I don't want to eat deer. I want wild boar. So he'll leave the deer alone and go on ahead and find wild boar, and he will get it. But nowadays, that does not happen anymore because of the destruction of the forest from the logging, and also water for the communities. Just recently, I was telling you about a company that's behind this 1,000 acres of land. They did what we call tree replanting. So they extracted all the timber from the forest, then they're supposed to replant the timber. But the way they extracted was very devastating. And when they replant the trees, they started using chemicals to control the weeds and everything. And all those chemicals entered into the water intake for the village and also the primary school. So these are the effects of the extraction economy. Since then, with the help of a private enterprise, Borneo Outback Tours, which is ourselves, Kabulungo Waterfall and the forest has been protected from the logging industry and actually put on the international travel map under our Oro Sapulut project, which has won TripAdvisor Golden Awards, biannual Malaysia Tourism Awards. We won the most innovative package of the beaten track, and also ASEAN Sustainability Awards. So what Borneo Outback does is we promote sustainable and responsible tourism by adventuring through natural capital assets together with the local communities and experience their unique culture in that place. These are one of the natural assets or natural capital assets that we have saved throughout the years. This is called Pungiton Caves. And initially, a company came in, wanted to mine it for limestone and marble. But the village chief over there came up to us for advice, and in the end we started doing ecotourism, and even until today his family is receiving benefits in his community. Here we have guides that are looking in the high tree canopies. These are all primary forests. You can see the amazing buttress roots, very tall. This is in the Batu Punggul area. Batu Punggul is a 220-meter limestone outcrop that we have in Sapulut. Also part of the formation of Batu Punggul, this is a hole right in the middle of that 200-meter rock actually. We have an integrated farm that we do multiple crops, cocoa, agarwood, fruit trees, fish farming, and we also promote that to try and break the poverty cycle and teach people how to be sustainable about their agricultural practices to the villages. Here, this group of students behind here, they're from the UK, and they came to actually do a gravity water project for the villages and things like that. And so we got them involved, brought them to the school, and all the school kids came and showed them a little bit of our culture. So what we do is, all of this is to build better futures together through sustainable and responsible tourism. Now, for the pilot project, you see, it was initially established in 2013, and it was part of the, when Oro Sapulut was formed, they had to have multiple destinations, and this waterfall was one of them. It has an attic accommodation that can house 6 guests at one time, because we were doing very small numbers, low density those days, and employ 4 villagers directly, only because it's a small group. In its infancy, the destination had to be tied with under destinations, but now it has matured throughout the years and it's ready to be a standalone bespoke destination. Like I said, 1,000 acres dedicated to reforestry and also sustainable tourism. Accessibility to a waterfall has been a major issue whenever there was heavy rain, and the rivers and streams would be flooded and inundated. So this is actually the first issue that we have to solve when we're trying to pitch this project forward. And we are very, very happy. We have very kind souls like Michelle over there who has helped us out with that initial part. This is the front view of the initial hut that was built in 2013. The attic is up here. And just a kitchen, simple dining area here. This is the back view, and this is just an outdoor toilet that we have here. And next, for the next part, it's going to be brain heavy, so I'm going to pass it to my father, and he will torture you guys a bit. Yeah.
You have heard the background. You might be confused a little bit because what actually he's trying to do, tie in what we have already done under Oro Sapulut, and we locally branded it as that lah, or Oro Sapulut. And then that time, this Kabulongo was also part of Oro Sapulut until we stopped the operation because of the problem with the accessibility because of the big river. I'll show you the photograph afterward. And now we go to stage 2. We are heading to the upscaling, from pilot to upscaling. Now, last year, that lady there and his other colleague said there is a grant which is called the Hasana Foundation grant. And we already starting this one. We try to apply. Of course, the NGO, or actually is Berhad, Ailing Berhad, came in. And we were to apply it under this. But part of the requirement was to get the trading license at that time. And thinking about what could become an NGO to be called the Nabawan Community Empowerment. That was the idea. And then that trading license was then wholly owned by Ailing that time. But then we were not successful. And even though I told Michelle that I never got the luck to get any help from the government other than being employed. So that has been proven to be right, huh, Michelle? We gagal. And then, of course, we get this Blantos and all of this community to come in, and we say, okay, if you're going to upscale it, we need to build a bridge. Then that was an issue until Pastor Daniel Chin said, you go talk to that pretty lady. So I went, and Michelle said, okay, we'll help. They raised 30,000 for that. And 30,000 for that 170 meters hanging bridge is no way enough if we're going to pay for everything. Then we just use the 30K to buy material. Itu pun tidak cukup, Michelle. So we tambah sikit-sikit lagi. You don't mind some bahasa, bukan? Because I have my colleague here who speak bahasa. And then we get everybody on the gotong royong, teamwork. We successfully, of course, build that bridge. There will be a slide on that. And now thinking, which I discussed with Michelle also, to come up with a foundation. Of course, it's a choice, having a foundation or Barhat like Eileen or Sandan Bahat, having a discussion with the community. We went for a foundation. Now that foundation is in the process of being registered. It's called Kabulongo Earth Foundation. So we are going back to Earth. That's what it is. Let me see if I know how to operate on this one. So since we have this foundation that is being registered, we were seeking the help of Gail actually. So we have to have a vision, mission, and for this case, up to the 5-year goal. To complete this business plan, we still have the annual objective and the action plan. That's the management of the plan. We leave that detail. We only share with you the vision, mission, and the 5-year goal. So the vision is very simple. So we talk about an intervention, which is economic and social empowerment of the target communities. So the target communities here are the 3 villages, namely Kuala Salung, Belantos, and Kampung Saliku. So the idea is to give them this empowerment, to give them the capacity, so that they themselves will achieve self-reliance, and then thereon to achieve self-determination. So I don't know what they will say if we have a referendum once they get into the self-determination status. Melanie? could be quite dangerous. So having that vision, of course the vision we always like to frame it at a 10-year period. And if you really want to know what it is, simply, it is a picture of this foundation and what they do 10 years from today. If you close your eyes, open your mind eyes, you see that in 10 years what it could be. So to achieve this, because that is still very qualitative, we will have the mission statement. So for us to define the mission statement, we have to answer these 5 questions. What is it that we are going to do? What actually we are trying to sell? What is that product? And who are the clients? And for that, we say, we are going to position Kabulongo, waterfall, and the forest is a place that we need to rehabilitate. So something that we need to do to bring back this log-over denuded forest into, for my purpose of explaining to them, what we are trying to achieve at the end of the day is something like Eden, the Garden of Eden. They read the Bible, at least they hear the preacher saying it, they understand what is Eden. And thanks to Edwin, you suggested this, and this is going to be used as our tagline. It's not a title of the paper, but it's a tagline, and I think it is good. So knowing what we are trying to sell, that is rehabilitation, so that we can invite participants all over the world. People who are frustrated because the environment is badly affected by extraction economics. And those who love nature, this is a place where they go, and so forth. Secondly, what is the distinction actually that we are trying to do. What is the point of difference? Here we say our target communities are very important. What we want to do, we want to build their capacity so that they will be independent, they will get their freedom. So we target on this. So it is just project like most other projects. You get them employed, pay them wages, and that's the end of it. The end product, the bottom line is they will develop that capacity in there through their participation. Thirdly, we will say, what benefit can I get? That's what the community will ask. What benefit can I have that would be asked by our visitors? The benefit. So for the community, of course, that the entrepreneurial capacity, the awareness they get, the knowledge because they are part of the whole thing, they develop their skills, and then work experiences because they are the one that going to be involved. And we will facilitate this by having community organizing. And that's why I think this is where we get a lot of help. And I hope there will be pool of expertise and talent from Sabah society. We need help to shape up the community so that we achieve this capacity building. And if you do all of this, then through this achievement of the vision, then we contribute to the achievement of the vision from now until the 10-year, and then we'll continue again. Thirdly, most important in the mission statement is how are we going to sell this idea? So social marketing will involve many things. The visitors themselves, word of mouth, and then will participate in roadshows, participation in ecotourism related exhibition, the MIC in general, and so forth. And then lastly, what are we going to do to commit ourselves so that this project is going to be successful? We are committed to make sure that the communities get that benefit as promised, that all our visitors will be happy and satisfied because it is authentic, it is real, no BS, like most other tour agents would try to sell, right? And when you come there, they say, oh, Borneo jungle. When they come there, it's all surrounded by oil palm. And they get very disappointed. And here, thanks to nature, we still have the waterfall. You know why? The river, the Kabulongo River, was protected by steep hills. Loggers cannot access. So we have that waterfall. But my worry, they are going to log the headwaters. And that way the pollution coming from. And then we now quantify that mission. Quantifying that mission, of course, it will lead to the achievement of the vision. So we break the 10-year into two, first 5 years. That's why we call it the 5-year goals. Some of the things that we try to achieve 5 years from now, that is 2028, will be like, we have done pro forma P&L. So by that year, 2028, we try to achieve that 5.6 million gross revenue, and then a profit of close to $1 million, and then the income generating visitors from packages in Kabulongo. Of course, we hope to have 960 visitors, and then whitewater rafting at least 1,200. But that whitewater rafting will only be started next year. So we do Kabulongo first. And then we say we will plant 20,000 trees. That's part of the rehabilitation. The whole object, the whole product is rehabilitation. So by the end of the 5th year, which is 2028, we would have planted 10,000 trees. We insist that every visitor that comes there must at least plant a tree, either a jungle tree, endemic in there, or a fruit tree. If I can recall correctly, when we launched the bridge, Michelle planted a durian kampung. Masih hidup lagi. And then we say, we plant that 5,000 mixed fruit, and I must amplify. If we had to attract the Chinese visitors, what do they like? Food, fruits. Food has to be among other things the ikan pelian, our local ampurau. We are raising that, and then we are planting high quality durian, among other things. We have already planted duri hitam, we planted Mosan King, we also have planted Mosan Queen, that's called Teka. And then a lot of local durian, champadak, you name it, and more fruit will be planted. Langsat, when you walk in the jungle, it will be yellow, golden yellow. That kind of environment that I see some 5-10 years from today. Okay, a lot of champadak, a lot of durian kampung, you know, the red durian. I saw the other day at one of the simbulan there. I was shocked. Durian mira. You know how much? 65 ringgit, 1 kilo. So I think if they understand me, they will be excited, you know. Okay, I'm not going to take too much time. So, like here, this is real. At least we say all the facilities and amenities that we have listed, we will achieve at least 70% by the year 2028. And then we say here, we target 90% of the visitors are walking out satisfied. And I can only tell the people who help out, the cooks, the guide, we can only be happy when our guests are happy. Okay? So that's the very, very high standard. And then that's why I say it has to be genuine and authentic rehabilitation activities. We tidak mau cakap and then we don't deliver. Very, very serious. And this, they will say, okay, we are modest, conservative, we want 100%, but even if they say we are 90% satisfied, then we are already happy with that. And then here is very important. We have to create the strategic alliance with at least 5 international tour agents, 15 local, that's why the MIC and other things. At least, this is very, very important. Looking at the forest, we have a lot of nature capital. We develop this activity as authentic as possible, nature-based. This will form the attraction. This will cause people to come because of those attractions. In addition to planting the trees and fruit to contribute into the rehabilitation so that we put back to its original form, as well as, again, if you take a balance sheet, some 100 years from today, maybe that's a time, and it's the same status at its original form before logging, that balance sheet will be a lot higher or more valuable than what it was originally. Because now we select what trees to plant. Marbau, kapur, and all the high quality seraya, belian. We don't plant the softwood. But all of these are endemic in there. And then all the high quality, valuable fruit trees, like all these Musang King, Duri Hitam for the time being. And then I think this is very important here, right here. So at least we say 5 years from today, 100 of the villagers will have knowledge and skill. Okay, this is like a school, a jungle school. They participate in there fully, they come out as a graduate, 100 of them. And this one here, we want to emphasize education, more relevant afterward. At least we say, 5 years from today, 30 students, either they're in colleges, vocational school for skill development, and so forth in various fields, but will be biased towards agriculture and tourism. That's what we want to do. So, having all this business plan, now it's time for the project scale up. So I think to save time, I'm going to go into the picture. Last time, when we had that 6 guest limit, we had to cross this river. And I can tell you that this river is not high, moderate. When it's very high, this river got a lot of these waves, and not safe to cross. One time we had to wait until 12 noon to bring back tourists. Problem is, when you cross to that project, it's okay, but the following day, the whole thing is flooded, we cannot cross back. And then the tourists got to continue with their own other program. And then, this is a must in the scale up. So that's why Michelle and all the community came together, build this bridge. Our estimate is 170 meters. That's a very long bridge. And it costs us, all in all, I think, 50K. Okay? But if you give this to contractor, nothing less than 110, 120,000. So I need to congratulate the villagers for the effort on that. And then by December last year, no, it was November last year, 30th of November, we completed it. Michelle and many others launched it with the late Pastor Alex. You heard about him, right? He passed away. And he was the one that was part of the team to launch it. Now, what are we going to do? If you look at the facilities and the amenities, among other things, this is of course not everything in there, but I say we are looking at glamping hut. Eventually, we are looking at campsites equipped with kitchen and toilets, hammock site, tree houses, cabin, retreat center, public toilet, cafes, cafe that is serving Palian dish one day. And then the information center, of course, traditional tattoo hut. On the 31st of this month, there are 4 visitors coming there to do their traditional tattoo in Kabulongo. So we will say those are our first visitors, 31st of this month. And then wellness center, we have spoken to somebody on this. And then education facilities. I can see that the student, from primary one all the way to high school, they'll come and conduct their classes in nature. If they learn something about soil or physical geography or plant science, biology, whatever, nature science, teachers can conduct their classes in the forest. We will have basic facilities for that. And that's why we have to have all those campsites and all this. Now, again, we went back to Michelle. Can you help again if we build hut? So, berapa itu? 15. With 15K, we built 4 huts. 4 huts, you know. Now, I wonder, after discussing with somebody, one of the architects who does all of this, a hut this size cost them 80,000 to build. And one hut here, for the record, is only 3,700. And I was able to compensate people who prepare the timber. I mean, they are not wages, but compensation. Yeah? So you look at this. This is supposed to be an A-frame. That's another hut. This one belonged to Kampung Salung. The Ketua Kampung of Kampung Salung, this gentleman here, he was carrying all those kayu there, leading his team. This one was not part of that budget, Michelle. I did this one, and I will attribute this to Tan Sri Andrew, yeah, to this one. And then, this is what we call the double hut. 2 huts put into one, and this is built by Kampung Belantos. Tingkalur there, Koyon there, and Wakil Ketua Anak Negeri Akus. This is their hut. Okay? And then on the 26th of this month, Hoksong, a friend of ours, close friend, with Gail, they came and they brought the starling. That's a dish. So now this Kabulongo, at least this common area has Wi-Fi. So it is better than their own kampung. So I can imagine a lot of young fellows who are very keen on that Wi-Fi. They might be rajin to go there all the time when we invite them. So there is a pull factor now for them. Okay? Okay. Okay, this is our common area. So I contributed this one, Michelle. So we eat here. And if you notice, our buffet we serve here, all the wood. It's quite big actually. And then we build table all around. And then you are seated, you'll be facing the Kabulongo River and the waterfall. And I think this was derived on this Michelle story of a retired teacher in Taiwan who built a cafe facing the ocean, right? Something like that. So now you are facing the stream. We have a barbecue place. We can barbecue the palian and any other thing. Okay, now we go into activities. What are we going to create there? Just using nature in there. And mind you, when we create, we will not cause any displacement. I repeat, no displacement. But we add value. Okay? We make it more visible for guests. So now this is the one to be started next year. We will have the whitewater rafting from our village, Kampung Saliku, and then to Saupit first, and eventually to Belantos, his kampung, with jetties. And then Edwin, I think he's a birder with his friend, Kekeli, introduced this idea. He came and visited. We have now located 3 places in Kabulongo where we will build bird heights. So we are going to start that very soon. And then, of course, we have Salt Lake. You can walk around in the jungle, in the trail, and watch animals. And then we will put more salt so that deers from the forest reserve will all come there and stay in our forest. So hard to miss the deer or any animals when you go to the forest. Okay? And then this one, the famous one, community tree planting. We will only plant indigenous trees. And then Edwin had kindly brought in a professor from UMS who is specialized in herb. I think he has given talk here. And he thought that it is doable there. And one day, I hope that with some planting in the forest, integrating in the forest, we will have enough to start even a cottage industry to process that herbs. Okay? And then this is the important one, agroforestry, based on the agroecology concept. We select fruits and plant for food, to plant in the jungle, but mainly along the logging road because they have sunlight and all this. We can't put in the thick jungle. And here, that's why we thought that we can only do 5,000 trees. But they have to be well selected. And then we do the river conservation. He brought some friends there. They take a dip in the big pool, and the fish came and met them, nibbling on their legs. So I said, I hope it's only the legs. And these are all anak pelian, and they're quite big because we have been feeding them. And then we do the river conservation. We will clean it, the big river where the hanging bridge is, so that we can reinstate the fish, in there. So one of the activities will be fishing for anglers one day. And then the waterfall, we can do a lot. We can do abseiling, of course, just relax in there. And then we are now cutting a lot of trekking routes. And the longest will be from Kabulongo all the way to Kampung Plantas, maybe 8 hours one day. So from there, going to that village, okay? And I say very authentic, real. And then we have this lady from Singapore. She was not sure how to dig a hole, so I got to help. And then that is the seedling for blackthorn duritam, okay? I went there last, it's still growing, okay? This is real, huh? And then these kids, young fellows are playing on the second level. You can have your water spa there for free for now until it is being charged. And then some people don't want to get into the cold water, so they warm themselves by sleeping on the flat rocks. And this is the very guy that donated the Starlink, and I've taken that video using his drone. Okay? See, quite relaxing. Now, potential market. You got all this product. What are we going to do? And this is completing the requirement of the first mission. Okay, what product selling to whom? So we say to cut the time, because I'm not going to say everything, but this is important. Initially, maybe the percentage of European tourists will be much higher, but eventually Asian visitors will take over. And the Chinese from China, some Japanese, if we have wellness, another thing to attract them. And then we have other activities like fruit. For the Chinese, they love the quality durian, duri hitam. I went to KK there, 120 ringgit or so, they whack the duri hitam, finish. So here, we'll do it organically, They go eat as much as they can at the bottom of the tree, but they got to pay, right? And then the other thing is, whatever marketing that we need to do in Kabulongo will be linked up with Borneo Outback. That's our ecotourism company. And then we will connect or network with various other bodies like Sabah Tourism Board, local and international tour agents, MATA. Some of these tour agents are members of this, like us also member, and so forth. How much time do I have? 10? 15? Okay. Now marketing again, because we have a website, and it is included in our website. And then packages ranging from 1 night, 2 days to 4 night, 5 days in Kabulongo itself. So as Virgil was saying, eventually Kabulongo is a destination itself. For a start, we have to link up with the other activities to make it more interesting so they can sleep in different destinations. Now, here, our projection, like in very modest, 2024, only 40 packs going to Kabulongo. Not too many because we are starting in September. We are doing all the packages now. Hopefully, next year we have 600, and then coming to 2028, together with whitewater rafting and the Kabulongo itself, will hit that 2,000 mark. That will be a lot of people. Then a lot of facilities to be built in addition to what we have. And they are all listed. So I skipped this one because I'll be repeating the same thing there. Okay. Whatever we do, we have that area. We have to fit in everything so that they fit in naturally. Secondly, we are dealing with the target group, the communities, what they are familiar with. Because everything, with the exception of 1 or 2 from outside, will be done by them. And the hut that I shown you earlier, done by them. Because I have to come up there lah. Tunjuk sana, tunjuk sini, kan? Have to be. So now here, all of these things I mentioned earlier, like it would cost us about 120K. Now, I show this figure not for anything, continuing with this, all the glamping hut, all of this cafe and whatnot, with that kind of costing we have and that kind of sizes. Some of them are partially done like this one, the hut. But some of this hut that we completed will be upgraded to glamping hut. You know the difference between camping and glamping? You know one? Yeah. A little bit of luxury, if you like, when it is upgraded to glamping. Let's say if you can visualize walking into a 4-star hotel, the room be furnished like that. Yeah, so you pergi sana, you don't want to go home already. You want to stay there, right? And that's the idea, right? The longer you stay, the more you pay, kan? And then the better they earn. Betul tidak? So this one is very costly. It's more than $1 million. And then here, the activities, okay? So we say, the waterfall area, we can do a lot of things. The guy was laying down, Hoksong, very sure when we have more guests, like what we had experienced in 2014 and 15, a lot of the guests will be sunbathing on those rocks. Yeah. And some of my Murut community friends get excited also, because first time they see. Hey, when I was in the US, my first spring, I was amazed because I see everybody lying down on the house compound, sunbathing. And for being a Murut, we always run and hide under the shade. And this guy goes stay under the sun, see? And if you go to beaches in Asia, who lay on the sand for sunbathing? You know where the Asians are? Kayu aru, or coconut trees, right? That's what it is. So for this one, all these activities, like community forestry, agroforestry, will cost us close to $500,000. And then when it comes to staffing, Kabulongo will have its own set of staffing. This is the basic requirement to run the operation there. On top of that, where BOT, Borneo Outback Tours, will be the manager, marketeer, you name it, okay? Community organizing, that's what we do. And of course, here you can see that figure, a little bit over 700,000. And then we need some vehicles, very basic, and I think this is not enough if we hit those figures that I shown earlier. But for a start, we need that. For your information, almost all the road from the Caningau Tower Road going there, Edwin, is almost all sealed now, except for a few stretches. Yeah. So van can go there at that time. But I want to highlight one small thing. You see the mini excavator. That is his idea. So we need one small one. Wherever human can do, that machine can help. Okay, that is costly. And now, of course, we look at the total project cost will be that with this 5% contingency. And if you look at the pro forma profit and loss, we have not done the cash flow. I know this accountant will say that is not right, but roughly, if we had to spend, if we have the capital and we do it, probably 2030 is a payback. But when you do the cash flow, the upfront, at least the 3 years, we need fund from outside. And that's the one that we need to bring in. Okay. So this is all the financial. We just look at the important thing is I'm just trying to show these are the packages, Kabulongo, and then the next one for the whitewater rafting we have 3 day, 2 night. We differentiate this from Padas, Kiulu. When you come there, 2 night, 3 days, it includes cultural performance and makan in so it's different. So kalau pergi Padas, tapau-tapau saja kan ada strip, but you go there, you spend 2 nights. Oh no, 2 nights, 3 days, you enjoy more. That kind of packaging we do. And then pay attention to this one. Of course, we say we'll manage it, but this one, I want you to pay attention. This one here. There are 3 funds. So the profit before tax will fund this: education, agri-development, health services. This will all go to the communities, the 3 villages. And when you look at this, it's quite a lot. Comparing to what it is today, nothing. Okay? And of course, when you add up these 3 things together, going to 1 village, that's quite a bit of money. So almost 500,000 or 400,000 if you're looking at 2028, right? And then, of course, hopefully, with your contacts, our contacts, we can avoid paying tax. We have tax exemption one day, hopefully, if we can show what benefit it provides to the community. And okay, now we say this is financially feasible. I'm not even saying socially feasible, looking at the profit before tax and after tax. So we say we are looking at, say, at least a profit before tax of close to $1 million 5 years from today. Okay? And it contributes to these three funds. So we jump, because I know I have run out of time. Part of the justification, you know what fishes is? This gentleman supposed to have been here tonight, but he had fallen ill. That's the palyan. Yeah. That's our version of ampurao. In Sarawak, my son says 700 a kilo, the ampurao. But someone told me who had gone there, looked for it and eaten it, how much they paid? 1,200 a kilo. 1,200. And then Jutaya is the contractor for the road. Sometime when they have meeting with the civil servant, they come to our guest house for lunch. So and I would serve them palyan from the pond that I tried out very successfully. I charged them 250 a kilo. And one of the senior engineers was saying, this one is same as our ampurao. Why so cheap? So I remember that. Then I'm going to charge them a bit more next time. So conclusion, obviously we need this project. And it has to be ecotourism. We need this project to put back this log-over denuded forest into its original state, but much higher value. That's what we need to achieve. And we need more friends to do that. So I think that's what I want to emphasize in this presentation. And any question? One more. I'm trying to hurry and finish. Oh, this one. But that's concluding remark. I want to highlight this one. I don't know. What happened? Okay. Okay. I want to highlight this one. You see, whatever we do, at the end of the day, it will be evaluated. And what standard? We go for UN standard, the famous SDGs they call it. So, normally there are 17 SDGs, and we say we can achieve or fulfill 11 out of the 17. What are they? All those that are bold. I don't know, people said they discovered Eden. I don't know how it looked like, but our version of Eden. Right? I'd like to invite everybody to come there and see what it is today, and see it 5 years from today and 10 years from today. I am 73 already. I'm still hoping to see what's in 10 years from today. Okay? Right.